welcome to PPR podcast number 162. You might notice there's only one chair here. Bert is under the weather and will be unable to join us for podcast 162. And that's a shame because he's been trying to land this kid for a couple weeks now. Please welcome to the, what would be the center seat, but the hot seat for this podcast, quarterback from the Bishop School, Cash Herrera. Cash joining us now. Are you in school right now or are you at home?
No, we're at home actually. We have like a free wellness bean day, so we have no school.
So you're on a wellness day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this for us. We've been trying to get you for a while. We've been trying to get you because, young man, you're one of the hot young quarterbacks in the county, which suddenly in San Diego, you can't swing a cat. You can't swing a cat without hitting a blue chip quarterback, of which you are one. What is going on? Why is that?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know. It's just, this is the time of, I guess, where a lot of quarterbacks out of San Diego are just coming in and making a big deal. Like we have Akili, or KJ and Brady and all these kids. I mean, it's just a good time in San Diego to be quarterback, I guess. And
yeah.
I think so.
Well, I would think that it has something to do with the fact that you have a lot of quarterback gurus in the county now that are, you know, whomever it might be. Who do you work with?
I work with Jose Moeller at Left Coast and Cree Morris, the quarterback coach. Those are my two main guys, so I've been with them for a while.
And they're both big names, but they're not the only names in San Diego County. There are a lot of people who specialize in developing young talent, and we see them. We see the results because they're playing at schools like Ohio State, or they're getting recruited by schools like you're getting recruited by, Power 5 schools. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're so you're just starting to drive, for Pete's sake, and yet here you are getting recruited by schools that, you know, I used to, when I was your age, would watch on TV and just dream of one day maybe having a jersey from them, much less playing for them. Can you explain to me what that's like?
Honestly, it's kind of like, it's like surreal, but it's, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but I just like, I've always dreamed of playing out of Power 5 and SEC school. And just, that's kind of what I've like dedicated my life to be able to play at those schools. So to see kind of like the work that I've put in throughout my whole life somewhat showing, obviously it hasn't paid off yet because like nothing's happened yet. But to see it kind of making its way, its progress, it just means a lot. And it's like, it's just a surreal experience.
I bet, because I can't even fathom it. I mean, like, how do you stay grounded with your buddies? I mean, how do you have like a normal childhood?
You kind of don't, honestly. You have to sacrifice a lot, and that's just kind of the name of the game. But it's something that doesn't bother me, so. But I mean, obviously, you can hang out with friends, but it's just not like your normal kid where they're always with their friends.
Well, Cash, if I'm you, I am so paranoid about doing the one stupid thing, you know, being just a normal kid. I'd be so paranoid about making that mistake that might cost me at least part of my future. The stuff I know the adults are screaming that in your ears, but do you hear that? Does it register?
I definitely do. Like, I mean, me personally, I've never been the person to like do something where it's kind of like I'm putting my future in danger. That's just not the type of person I am. But it's definitely a factor that you're being reminded of daily. So, because basically like these next 2 years, junior year, senior year, it's kind of like you can change your life from here. So it's how you take it. Yeah,
the stakes are high. I'm sorry. I know people are saying, no, he's just a kid. Yeah, but you're a kid with this special talent that's going to pay for your education. It's going to pay for, I mean, you're aptly named, young man, in this era of NIL. I mean, I don't mean to be crass about it, but now there's money to be had at the collegiate level. And I mean, do you sit and go through Car and Driver thinking, okay, that's what I want? Have you spent the money yet in your head?
No, not yet. No, that's not really something I've thought about. I mean, it's the new part of the game that you have to think about, but it's kind of like my goal is just to go play football, and obviously that's just a side effect of it. So, no, I haven't really thought about that.
It just dawned on me. We were talking about the other good quarterbacks in the county. Does that make it easier to be recruited when you have, Troy Hune up in Mission Hills getting attention? You got Keely or KJ getting attention. It's like one-stop shopping for any recruiter who's going to come to San Diego. You might as well bang out all of you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it helps and it doesn't help. It's kind of like, I don't really know necessarily if it would 100% help, but I do know like it's obviously good that the coaches are coming down in San Diego and they are looking around. But yeah.
Describe your game. So somebody who's never seen you play, describe your game, please.
I'm more of like a pro-style quarterback. I'm not really like your typical dual threat. I can't really get out and like go bust out a 60-yard run, but I can. I'm a really good pocket passer, and I mean, if I have to make a play, I will on the run. So like I consider myself like a pro-style quarterback.
Does that affect who and how many recruit you?
Somewhat. I mean, there's some schools that are looking for a dual threat guys that they like to run, but most of the schools are usually looking for passers. So I mean, it doesn't really affect me tremendously.
What are you specifically good at? You could throw the ball, but is there I'm sure you hear the reviews of your game. What do people like about your game? What don't they like about your game?
I mean, just like I have a pretty good motion, a quick motion, so I could get the ball out fast and being able to process defenses and go to my next read and just break down defenses and get the ball to my guys so they could go make a play. But those are kind of my main things, just
all right. Mentally. I don't want to get you in trouble, but give me a generic play call, and I want you to walk me through it from the line of scrimmage. So call something in the huddle right now. Give me a play call.
So we could run something like trips right, 53 lightning. It's kind of a pure progression play.
Okay, trips right, 53 lightning. We come to the line of scrimmage. Are you behind center or are you in a shotgun?
We're in the gun. We're in the gun right now. So I'll have my X receiver at the 1. He'll run a MOR, which is kind of our alert route. So if it's there, you take it.
Well, hold on. Don't talk to me in lingo. What does MOR mean?
Mandatory outside release.
Okay. So, all right. So walk me through it. Keep going.
And then we have our back who's to the left of me. He'll run like a stick up. So he'll get to like kind of where the outside backer would be. And then he'll either sit if the backer flies out or he'll run out if the backer sits. Kind of doing the opposite of the linebacker.
Okay.
And then on the right side, we have our Y who's running a cross, just like a deep crosser. And then we have our H who is running just like a flat. And then our Z is running a post curl. So you work at pure progression. So if the MOR is there, it'll go alert to the out, to the cross, to the post curl.
It's a pretty cerebral stuff.
Yeah, once you get it down, it's not that bad. So.
But it's a lot different than on the playground when you say go down by the Buick, cut by the fire hydrant, and look for the ball. Everyone. I always scoff at people who say, "Oh, you're a dumb jock." There's nothing. It's an intellectual game. It's chess. It's high-speed chess, is it not?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're constantly thinking. You're constantly having to move somewhere, do something, read someone. So. It's not a dumb sport.
And especially the linemen. You have to know everything. So you guys, you have to be the brightest kid on the field. But the linemen are also, they get a bad rap because they're some of the, especially the O linemen, they're some of the smartest guys on the football field.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Some of our linemen actually are like probably the smartest on our team when it comes to academics. And so, yeah, no, those guys have to be really smart.
Because they have blocking calls, running blocking calls. They got a whole game going on outside of the game that you're playing. So nothing but respect for them. Let's talk a little bit about the Bishop School. Small school, known for its academics, and then Tyler Buchner came along, and suddenly you're pretty well known for your football team. Tell us what it's like to be a student at the Bishop School.
It's great. It's like a blessing, honestly. It's a super hard school to get into. But it's a hard school, but they have so much support. Like our tutors, our teachers, our head of school, our dean of students, like they're all there for support. So it kind of balances it out. But I think without them, the school would be a lot harder because, I mean, the stuff we're getting taught and the stuff they're assigning us is like not really easy. Like we're far advanced from public school. So it's just a great blessing to be there. But that's kind of, it's just, I think when you have great people around you, it makes it easier. And then also the students are super competitive. So you're pushing each other academically every day. So.
Fascinating. So, I mean, your challenges don't start at practice. Your challenges start when you hit your first classroom.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And what do you find yourself gravitate? Say the football thing doesn't work out. Say a rock from space falls and hits you on the head and you can't play football anymore. What do you want to do?
Business. Like, I want to get my major in finance, something around there. So.
Okay. So that, I mean, anybody that's recruiting you knows that you're, I mean, in this age, it just seems like the student athlete thing is going bye-bye, at least at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
But in your case, it's not going bye-bye. I mean, you intend to be a student as well.
No, yeah, for sure. I think football only lasts so long, so you have to have a backup, like not a backup plan, but you have to have a plan other than football. And I think school, I mean, you have to take it very seriously. So.
Yeah, and let's face it, you can't mess around there. I mean, your athletic career is not going to get, your athletic ability is not going to help you pass a test. No one's going to give you special dispensation because you can wing the ball at that school. All right, hey, a question I wanted to ask you. When you look at the people that are around you, and I know your parents and coaches, who's given you what is the best advice you've gotten, and who's given it to you?
I think our head coach, Coach Walton, he kind of gives us advice before every game. It's like, good things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen, but just like stay calm. It's kind of like, I think you could take that anywhere, like in school, on the football field, outside of school. It's like, you're going to get a good grade, you're going to get a bad grade, but just stay even keel, keep pushing. And I think that's kind of one advice that I like use throughout my daily life.
Never give up, never surrender. You know, getting back to the Bishop School, I was going to say, back in the day, you probably wouldn't get much play on the PPR or related award shows, but thanks to Tyler, I mean, you have a kid at your school that held the silver pigskin in his arms and had his name on it. Is that something you think about much? You know, you got 2 years to make your bones here in this town. I assume you're familiar with the high school football show.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely something that you think about. I mean, having Tyler Buchner there, you have some big shoes to fill. So I think it's kind of like a little cool inspiration to have. Like, I mean, if one kid did it at our school, I believe I can. But it's definitely something that you think about.
And yet, do you think about this? Tyler is a great kid, great athlete. And, you know, we really enjoyed the hell out of him. His folks, they could not have been nicer. And he was getting pulled in every direction. He was one of the most highly recruited kids in the country, went to Notre Dame, then went to Alabama, and now is playing lacrosse, which is going to be great. He's a great lacrosse player. But it's safe to say, and I mean no disgrace, but the football thing did not work out for him. And here he was, one of the most highly recruited kids that, you know, to come down the pike. Is that something you think about much, that, hey, I better have a plan B?
I mean, obviously that's something that crosses your mind, but it's not something that I think about a lot because it's kind of like, I feel if I put in the work and I do what I can, that won't happen to me. Obviously, I'm not saying he didn't put in the work, but I think it's just, no, it's not something that crosses my mind. And obviously, it is good to be a dual sport athlete like he was, because obviously, at the end of the day, it helped him out a lot. So
yeah, it's gonna, I agree. He's gonna get his education still, which is, you know, and probably play pro lacrosse. So that's great. But I'm just curious, you know, and maybe it was because, you know, some things you just can't control as a young recruit is coaches move, and then suddenly you have to move, and the guy who recruited you is somewhere else, and none of that you can control, and you're just kind of, for lack of a better word, sometimes you get screwed.
Yeah, I mean, that is very true. I don't really know the whole situation with Tyler, so I can't really talk on that, but I mean, that is a very true factor with college nowadays. Everyone's leaving, everyone's transferring, so it's pretty hard.
So talk about that, because when I was your age, you went to a school, and if you were lucky, you survived 4 or 5 years if they didn't run you off, but it was pretty much a one-way street where the school and the coaching staff held all the power. Now it seems just the opposite. Seems like if you want to, you can play at 4 different places and just go where the money is the biggest. Is that fun?
I mean, it depends if you're if you're in it for the money and like just chasing all the money, I mean, the portal will help you out. But if you really want to like get developed at a college program and like become a better football player, I think the portal obviously is a good thing to do just in case like there's this crazy situation where like you have to leave. But I think it's overused, or like, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I hope to not be in it constantly. I just think it's something that it's like, if it's good if it's needed, but it shouldn't be needed as much as it is.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, and we should mention schools like, I don't know, am I allowed to talk about it? Like Arizona State's come take a peek at you. Who else has looked at you?
I have a couple schools coming to watch me throw. I have Oregon, UCLA, or Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, LSU, and maybe Mississippi State.
So I mean, these are significant programs, and that list, as you're only going to be a junior, that list will grow and grow. What's it like when they come to watch? Are you nervous? Or do you just do your thing?
I mean, there's obviously like a little nervousness to it. Like, there's a big time coach coming. It's like you can't really not be nervous. But I'm just spinning the ball, so I like when I'm throwing the ball, my mind clears away, and I enjoy it, honestly.
I'm just spinning the ball. I like that. Talk about your family life. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one sister, and yeah, my 2 parents, and my family.
Is your sister older or younger?
My sister's actually 30, so she went to Colorado and then university, and then she has 2 kids now, so yeah.
Was she an athlete?
No, she was not an athlete. She was just a smart student.
Very cool. All right, so you're halfway through your high school career. Is there a moment that stands out right now as far as, hey, this is something I think about every day?
Not necessarily. I don't really think about the past that much. It's kind of like, I haven't had a moment where I'm always thinking about, I mean, obviously there was moments in the season where I was like, wow, that's crazy, but no.
Well, share one with me. What was the best throw that if you had to put, if you were going to meet some football legend and you wanted to show them 15 seconds of your performance, what 15 seconds would you show them?
I think I would put, when we played Mount Miguel, it was like 4th and 15, and we're on their own 50, so we were almost about to score. And I scrambled out because they were blitzing a lot, and then I rolled out, and it was like I basically gunned it right between their corner and below their safety into our guy, and he like toe tapped it for the first down, and it was kind of like if we didn't get it, who knows what would have happened. We may have not won. So that's a kind of a big one. And then that's a
hey, you were not favored to win that game, were you?
Oh no, everyone was
saying how Mount Miguel.
Yeah, everyone was saying how Mount Miguel was going to kill us, how Mount Miguel was going to do this, but
how'd you beat them?
I think we outcoached them, and I mean, they definitely have more athletes than we do, but I think personally we have one of the best coaching staff in the county. So, I mean, we basically just picked them apart the whole game, honestly. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on them, but that's kind of how it felt. So yeah, I mean, I played 7-on-7 with Coach McCoskey, so he says he's coming for us this year, but who knows? We'll see. Well,
yeah, and they're going to even have more athletes this time around. I mean, so beware, yeah. Beware. That game is that the high water mark so far? I mean, is that the biggest?
I mean, I think it's, I mean, it's, I mean, it's, 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 Yeah, I think our La Jolla game's always really big because it's a rival, and then Mount Miguel, that'll be a big game.
Yeah, and you were talking about your coaching staff, about being one of the best coaching staffs. Boy, it's like when I was there last, and it was prior to Coach Walton taking over, man, there were like 25 athletes and 20 coaches. It was like having one-on-one positional instruction. You have
Yeah.
you have no shortage of people that want to come and help that program. Talk about that a little bit.
No, I mean, that's kind of one of the things we talked about. Like, we have a chapel pregame, and it's like, once these guys leave our school, they like want to come back. Like, this is a family to them. So a lot of our ex-players return. Like, our DC, he played here. Coach Shane played here. Our running back coach played here. Our quarterback coach played here. Our OC didn't, but he's really close with us. And it's a lot of just returning players and just have a lot of passion for the game and love for the school. So.
All right, so I promise I'll get this done in 4 minutes. Just a couple more questions, if you can. Got time to stay with me?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it. You're just now getting a taste of what your life is going to be like for the next, until you make your collegiate decision, and then probably beyond that. What have you learned from this, hey, getting to know you experience of college recruiters? What advice would you give to other kids who might get a similar taste of being under this hot spotlight?
Just always carry yourself with a high standard, and just push yourself, and that'll show to the coaches. I mean, the coaches will see that you're carrying yourself one way, and I think adults respect that and coaches respect that. And I mean, just at the end of the day, you have to perform on the field. That's all that matters. You could throw so well off the field in shorts and t-shirt, but if you're not performing on the field, none of it matters. So I think field performance and just carrying yourself.
Any social media advice?
I mean, on Twitter, I think that's like the main page. Like, you kind of, me personally, I'm not really big on like posting on social media except for Twitter. I mean, if you go somewhere and you talk with the coaches, you may want to post it, but I mean, nothing, I don't really have any advice.
I have advice. Stay off it.
Yeah.
I mean, do as little as you can on it. I mean, and keep it football related. And as far as making your highlight reels, you don't need a 30-second rap intro. Just nobody's got time for any of that stuff. My advice is just get to it. Show the plays, put accurate information up, and don't try to get artsy. You're never going to impress anybody with your editing ability. They want to see if you can spin it, not if you can Adobe it. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I think.
All right, well, hey, listen, we're going to wrap this up. We are closing in on 25 minutes, and that's usually our cut down. What are your what's your off season like right now? Are you lifting? What are you doing?
Yeah, so we have a full-time strength coach, Charlie Johnson, and I've been lifting 4 times and running 4 times a week with him. So I'm not doing a sport right now, so that's kind of what I'm really focusing on right now. So, I mean, I think he's really good at what he does. So,
give us an idea what one of those workouts is like. Say you're doing lower body.
On a lower body day, we'll usually do like we'll do snatch, and then we'll do front squats, and then like Bulgarian split squats, and a lot of mobility stuff, because he like specified it for like me, so it's like quarterback, so I have a lot of mobility stuff. I don't know if you've heard of, they're like called Kaisers. They're kind of they're air machines. No. And they're like ropes.
And what do they do?
You like pull them, so it's kind of like you could do like hip rotation stuff with them. You could do starts with them. They're kind of cool machines. So I have that in there, and then just my auxiliary lifts, like I said, split squat. And
how important is all that?
It's really important, because like all the helper muscles and just lifting in general is important. I mean, you need to be strong and big. Like, that's one thing I'm focusing on a lot is getting my weight up and getting stronger, because in season I was like some skinny bone Jones kid. So I think my junior season I'm trying to go in at like 195, 200 if I can.
Do you have any video of you working out that we can use for this?
No, I do not.
No pictures or anything?
No, we don't usually. No.
It's not a photo op. It's a workout. All right. Well, Cash, I appreciate you taking time to talk with us. I know we've been hounding you. You did excellent. I don't know why you were worried. You're a very smart kid. You're quick on your feet, obviously, as you are on the field, you are off on camera. So we appreciate this. This is the way it works. We are going to, I'll post this interview either later tonight or first thing tomorrow on YouTube. It'll just be raw. And then I'll pick a few moments I like best and put them up on social media, on Instagram. Could you do me a favor and send me all your Instagram and Twitter tags so I don't have to go searching for them? I would appreciate that. Any good action photos that you own, could you share them with me so I can use them?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you've got 10 good pictures, send them all. And if you got pictures that, things, just anything good with you and Coach, got anything that in the workout room, I'll take it. And otherwise, PPR podcast number 162 has now concluded. Cash Herrera. Oh, I know. I almost buried the lead. You have the best, can we say this? The best email address of anybody I've ever met. Go ahead, tell people what your handle is.
My handle is cashadvance1@icloud.com. So my dad, when I was I got my phone in 4th grade or something like that. And my dad made me an email, and it was just kind of a play on, cause he's big into business kind of stuff. So he just made it Cash Advance. And I never understood what it was up until a couple of years ago. And then I finally people were like, oh, that's a funny email. So then basically I think it's just a way to pull out money from your bank, basically.
Yes. Young man, I have a feeling that you're not going to be pulling out money. You're going to be putting money in. So it should be cash deposit one. But anyhow, when I saw your email, I knew I was going to enjoy doing this interview because it just put a smile on my face, as did this interview. I wish you good health. I wish you success. And I'm going to make you this bet, that this is probably not the last time you're going to have to do one of these with me over the next 2 years. So don't lose my number.
Thank you.
Okay. Cash Herrera, PPR Podcast 162 is over. Turn off the machines.